got a great show for you today. Here's the deal. And I have permission to say this. I asked with witnesses. Evan Roberts is now the weak link of this radio program. Big Mac never had COVID. Tommy never had COVID. Our interns never had COVID. I've never had COVID. Evan Roberts has COVID. And that's why he's not here today. So we found out about 4 or 5 hours ago, and we had to make a decision. Who am I going to have to fill in for Evan? Because unlike most people here who are complete and utter egomaniacs, I'm not looking to do a show by myself. So here are my options. Tommy, that was an immediate no. It was a non-starter. Big Mac. I'll be honest, Big Mac, I thought about it. I contemplated moving you from that seat to that seat. But then I said to myself, why do that? I can just leave you there and talk to you. Right?
Yeah, sure. Just use me.
Yeah.
Use me like you usually do.
Yes.
That's what I'm here for.
So then I thought about Damian Woody, but ESPN said no again. Then I thought about a whole bunch of people. Robert Wohl came to mind. But, he's probably napping right about now. Then I thought about, James Dolan. But, he can't comment on Donovan Mitchell because that'd be tampering. Then I thought about Aaron Boone, but he made a decision to go to the 11th place show in New York City. So I can no longer associate with losers. So Aaron Boone's out. Then I thought about Steve Cohen, but Steve Cohen didn't even acknowledge being on being a finalist for Pulse of the People, and I've never even met the guy, so he's out. So then I went to my phone, and I went all through it, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I got to Z, and I even thought about Chris Christie. He's busy being Chris Christie. And then, I got to what many of you think is the bottom of the barrel. I don't. I love the guy, but I put it out there on Twitter, and what I got was, who the hell is that? Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, and certainly not bottom of the barrel material, Mr. Cody Decker. Codes, what's up?
That was the single worst introduction I've ever received in my life. Thank you, Craig. That was top notch.
I thought I built you up nicely there. No?
Oh, it was great. It was really good. You went all the way from A to Z through your phone and then decided to go back to C.
Yeah, I went back around twice. First I found out Evan had COVID, so he's out today. And if you heard yesterday's show, he was declining hour by hour as the show went on. And I apologize that I didn't see your name the first time through, but I got you the second time through. And yes, 9 other people said no. So here we are. And I'm glad you're here today because I know you're a basketball fan, but you're known as a baseball guy. Something happened last night that for me proves beyond the shadow of a doubt what I've always said to Evan. Why don't my kids love baseball the way I loved baseball growing up? Why is there a generation now of kids that don't think of baseball the way we thought of baseball? And last night, I think, is the evidence I have to prove that point. The New York Yankees last night playing the Cincinnati Reds. It actually was a very entertaining game, and the Yankees have this crazy comeback with back-to-back wild pitches to score the winning run and avoid losing another game and losing the series to the lowly Cincinnati Reds. And I'm watching the game, and I didn't know this, to be honest, until well after the game, but it looked like there was a distraction going on in the stands. Now, I'm saying to myself, great crowd last night, beautiful night last night. Most Yankee fans were expecting a win right out of the gate. And then, of course, they go down 4-0, boom, just like that. Severino comes out. He's got a bad shoulder. Who the hell knows where that's going to turn itself out? But then I realized what happened, Cody. There was a fight. And by the way, not the greatest fight I've ever seen in a ball game, but there was a fight last night between Yankee fans. It wasn't Yankee fans versus Reds fans. It wasn't Yankees Mets. It wasn't Yankees Red Sox. 2 Yankee fans, really 3 of them, got into a little Donnybrook last night at the game. And for me, that's all the proof I need of how boring baseball is. Yankee fans fighting themselves. Why? Because the Yankees are playing the Reds? Because it doesn't matter what the Yankees do? Their lead's so damn big? Or because they decided the other 40,000 people needed something to watch that was entertaining? Like, what the hell's going on?
Well, one, it's Yankee Stadium. Although I will admit one thing, Greg, you sent me this video about a half hour ago. And dude, it's an impressive video. There's a lot of layers to be broken down on this fight, and there's multiple angles. I love every aspect of this. But yeah, maybe the Yankees are too good for their own good. Maybe the fans are getting bored over there in the Bronx. Maybe it's possible. Hell, 2 weeks ago, more fans in the outfield bleachers were more interested in a girl flipping her bottle than they were the game. And this is when the Yankees weren't losing anything.
But this is why I said yesterday on the show, the Yankees, this is going to be the most boring summer of baseball for Yankee fans because it's over. Yeah, listen, they came back and won last night. It's going to be a 5-game losing streak. And so what if it was? Like, the lead's so big. So Yankee fans are now saying, wait a minute. I shelled out how much money for tickets, how much money for hot dogs and beer and all that stuff. And this is boring, so let me punch a buddy of mine in the face to get people excited. And by the way, if you're the guy, pretty well-built guy, barrel-chested guy that was wearing the Yankee pinstripe jersey, not the other guy in the gray shirt, dude, I'm all good with if you out to get in a fight, you get in a fight. And yeah, I'm down with punch first, ask questions later. All good as an adult, right? Like, if you and I start squaring off and we're cursing at each other, do I want to get hit first or do I want to hit first, right? So I have no problem with being the guy that hits first in that situation. I get it. I tell my kids, you don't hit someone until they lay your finger on you. But in this case, if you know it's going down, I have no problem, getting it in quick. So this one guy last night in the pinstripe jersey, he did something that was so downright doggy dirty. I kind of liked it. He gave the other guy the open hand slap while the guy is sitting there, right? Mm-hmm. Now, here's what's interesting. There's not a straight-on view of this guy's face when he got open-handed slapped. But listen, you're a well-built guy. I'm sure you've been in scraps before in your life. We've talked about it before on and off the air. If another grown man comes up to you at a baseball game or, frankly, anywhere and slaps you across the face, there's one of 2 reactions and only 2 reactions. You either get up and it's on like Donkey Kong, right? Immediately, because you've just been embarrassed by an open hand pimp slap to your face in front of other people, or all the blood rushes out of your face because now you're scared. And that's a natural response for most people. I'm not knocking it. I get it. I understand. That guy got slapped in the face, and now he's positioned with the opportunity of, if I stand up, if I swing back, I'm in a legitimate fight. Or do I sit here and take the slap and hope that he turns around and sits down? There's a part of me, Cody, that felt terrible. Now, I don't know what caused the fight. If you were at the game last night, if you witnessed the fight, please call in, because I'd love to know what started that fight, because there was something verbal, obviously. But if you get open hand slapped in the face, what are you supposed to do? What would you do?
Personally,
yeah,
I'm jumping across every single seat over everyone. All I will see is a white hot flash of fury. But I understand anyone who doesn't feel that way. And like you said, there's 2 options. You either sit down, cower, and leave the situation as quick as you can, or you fight. This guy sat there and thought about it for like 15 seconds.
I think he got really nervous and scared, is what I thought, because the other guy's standing up. Listen, the guy that got slapped is a pretty big guy, too. So it wasn't like a much bigger guy against a little guy. They're both, seemingly, in the video, decent-sized guys, right? But the dude in the pinstripes, it wasn't even like he thought about it. He had no problem, slap, right in the face. And at that moment, the fight's over because the guy sitting down never got up, didn't defend his honor. And I'm trying to figure out, Cody, I understand when fans of opposing teams get in fights because you guys are drinking, guy says something stupid, your mother's a Yankees fan, whatever it might be. But I will never understand, for the life of me, there were no women involved. So it wasn't like you guys hitting on another guy's girl. There were no drinks spilled on one another. Something happened that led Yankee fans to fight amongst themselves, and I got to get to the bottom of it. I'm fascinated by it.
I did a full-on breakdown on this video, multiple angles. Like I said, there was a great angle right behind them where you got to see the slap, the back of the head contemplation of the guy in the camo jersey, just sitting there deciding what he's going to do. And then when he stood up, the big barrel-chested guy flips off his hat.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the little guy turns around and just starts wailing as if his life depended on it. And it seemed as though everyone, even the guy's buddy next to him, I'm talking about the guy in the camo who was getting slapped and getting sucker punched. It seemed as though his buddy was trying to tamper down that guy because I guess the guy in the camo, everyone was against him.
Yeah, it was very, very strange situation. So anyway, the Yankees do win last night, and they win on a wild pitch, really consecutive wild pitches. But the real story is the fight in the crowd amongst Yankee fans. Now, Big Mac, you're a diehard Yankee fan. Mm-hmm. You and I and Cody, we have all seen fights at games. You know, I don't care what the sport is. There's going to be a fight at a game. We're drinking, we're young, we're viral, like testosterone, the whole bit, all good. But I got to be honest. And I'd love to talk to people who have been in this, have experienced this before. It is not that often that you have a fight amongst guys rooting for the same team when there's no women involved. There are guys that'll punch you in the face or slap you in the face if they think you're hitting on their girlfriend, their wife, you know, fiance, that kind of thing. And we all get that. But I got to tell you, last night was a rarity for me. No women, same fan base, and beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I've never seen two Yankee fans go out at two similar teams, especially when they're trying to battle back from 4 runs down against the Cincinnati Reds. You can't lose 2 games to the Reds, especially with Castillo on the mound today. I would have been enthralled in that baseball game instead of arguing with my cohorts, the guys I'm supposed to be, you know, embracing. Like, I'm supposed to be high-fiving that Stanton home run, not slapping each other in the face.
Do you think there's any chance the fight was over the Yankees?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, Severino sucks. Garrett Cole's not an ace.
Nope.
Oh, yes, he is. F you. That kind of thing?
No.
So you don't think this was a baseball conversation that went sideways?
No, this is a spilled beer without an apology or something stupid.
But again,
like
and here's what's weird. From the video that we've all seen, you don't see a spilled beer.
Right.
There are no women involved at all in this. In that section, like there's not a gal sitting next to one of these guys. I'm not sure the exact inning the fight took place in, but you have to assume it's during the Yankees are losing because they were down quick, right? And I'm watching it going, I got to get to the bottom of this. I do. And I'm going to because right now we've got a guy that was sitting 1 row behind the fight.
Let's
All right?
go.
So here's Brett in Merrick. Brett, what's going on, kiddo?
Hey, guys. How's everything going today?
Doing great. So walk me through what happened.
All right. So, yeah, I'm literally right behind the kid in the camo jersey. I'm wearing a Yankee pinstripe with the forward Yankee hat, and I'm just sitting there. And the kid in the camo judge jersey snuck down there with his buddies and sat down there. They were sitting down there for at least an inning now. So they're sitting there, and they're drunk. They're just going at it, being real happy about getting down there. And they start yelling at each other that one of them was drunk. They wanted to leave. The other kid wouldn't want to leave. He's calling him, you know, a piece of crap. We just snuck down here. We have beautiful seats. You want to watch the game. Their friends are literally fighting they're fighting back and forth with each other.
Wait, so hold on. So the two guys sitting next to each other, one of them for sure is drunk, and they're acknowledging out loud that they snuck down to those seats. Got it. Go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the kid in the camo jersey. This is the kid that was starting basically everything. So now the guys in front of them that you saw throwing all the punches, they obviously heard this, and they were getting very annoyed. So they turned back and said, guys, just relax. You're at a Yankee game. You know what's telling you to leave. just hanging out for a while.
So in other words, so the guys that did most of the punching, they were like, it's all good that you snuck down here. No one's busting your balls, but quit, arguing between the two of yous because now you're affecting my enjoyment of the game.
Exactly.
Got it.
So the kid in the camo jersey started taking that as an aggressive, like, why are you turning back here, telling me to shut up?
Oh, boy.
I'm arguing with my friend. And they just kept going back and forth, and the kid in the camo would just not stop. He was the drunk idiot.
Got it. So here's why it's good that you called. Because if you just watch the video and don't know that background, it looks the exact opposite. It looks like the camo kid and his buddy are minding their own business sitting there, and two other guys decide, tonight's the night I'm punching somebody in the face. But it's the exact opposite is what you're saying.
Exactly. That's why you need to hear from someone that was there.
Yes.
The kid in the camo started everything. He was the one being the loud, rambunctious
So now,
idiot.
let me ask you this. When the barrel-chested kid in the pinstripe open hand slaps him in the face, did the kid in the camo say anything?
He was so drunk, I don't think he even realized what just happened. He was just standing there with his other buddies. His other buddies started pulling him away, but then he obviously started going at him, yelling at him, and then security went down there. Security didn't even have a chance. They started throwing punches as soon as security came.
And what's weird about it, the kid in camo, he swung, I think, twice maybe. It looked like he might have grazed the guy's jaw, maybe. But it's the little guy, his buddy, who this is a total cheap shot. When the melee begins and the guys are kind of stacked on top of each other, this kid comes in like a jackhammer, right? Pounding away.
Yes. And I'm going to just leave this. It's the last thing. The last thing I'm going to say is the kid to the left of the barrel-chested buddy. He was saying something how you don't want to fight me. You don't want to fight me. Let's take this outside. Like, you kept on pointing to his ear and said, you don't want to mess with this. And he was pointing to his cauliflower ear, so obviously he did some high school.
Yes, and I should say thanks for getting in, brother, Brett. Appreciate it. As Cody knows, and as I've learned, this is like a public service announcement to all young men out there. If you see a guy that has the cauliflower ear, that is not the guy to fight, because it means he has spent a lot of time either wrestling or MMA training or both. And those guys don't need that much to really hurt you.
You see cauliflower ear, you say you're sorry, and you buy him a drink, maybe two.
Exactly.
And that includes me. I'm a big guy. If I see a cauliflower, this guy's weighing 120 pounds, and he's got cauliflower ear. I'm like, nah, this little guy's going to eat me.
Yeah,
I'm not
in a
touching
tight
this guy.
space of like a stadium stands where you don't have a lot of room in a tight space right next to someone with cauliflower ear.
Here's what's
absolutely
that
not.
kid. I didn't recognize he had the cauliflower ear. He's got some tats. I saw that in his arm, like his right arm, like he was tatted up. But it does look like, in a weird way, he's trying to be a voice of reason. And I say that not knowing what he's saying because he can't hear what the guy's saying in the different videos that we've seen. But now it makes sense. He's trying to tell the drunk guy, dude, do yourself a favor. I'm not the guy you want to fight. Look at my ear. That's all you need to know. I'm going to hurt you. I love that. That's awesome.
My favorite part of this entire fight, the entire video, I know we talked about the little dude rabbit punching, the cauliflower ear guy, but it's the barrel-chested guy at the end. When the camo guy finally falls down, the barrel-chested guy goes in for one last kill shot, and man, do I respect it.
There you go. Listen, 877-337-6666. The Yankees win. Yankee fans are fighting amongst themselves, and it was, let's be honest, it was a fluky win. I hate to say that. I know most of you hate when I bring that up, but that was not a well-deserved Yankee win. But I do think it was a needed win, even in a season where they're 90 games over 500, 14-game lead. When you lose 5 in a row, and 2 of those losses are now to a bad baseball team in the Reds, and you've got the Red Sox coming up, and you lost the last 2 games of the Red Sox series prior to Cincinnati, there would have been panic. But Yankee fans would have started a little bit of worry, especially if Holmes blows another save, if the offense is kind of kaput. So if there is such a thing as a big win, an important win, when you're 14 games up in the middle of July. I do think last night was one of those wins. So we'll get all your calls on that. We got all the Donovan Mitchell stuff coming up as well, and your calls throughout the afternoon. Evan is fine. Evan Roberts does have COVID. He gave me permission to tell you, the audience that has been so kind to us. He's in bed. He's not feeling great, but he's going to be fine. And he started the medicine already. So by company rule, he can't physically come in. I think it's 5 days or 10 days. I don't know what it is. But the hope is that on Monday, he'll be back on the show. We're off tomorrow anyhow. So if there is a good time to get sick, not that there is, this is not the worst time for either one of us to get sick. I, of course, am a horse. I come to work every day. I don't get sick. I'm immune to COVID, and I just keep plugging along like the worker bee that I am. And it's good to have friends who are workers as well. So Cody will join us throughout the afternoon, and we got lots to do. You know the phone numbers, coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.